final round. So this is just going to kind of be my little wrap up here. And I'm going to try to be brief, touch on my adulthood and coming out of adolescence and the kind of shift from really focusing on that silly, goofy childhood, imaginative play, then going more into my adolescence where I was more focusing on leisure and my play was just more centered around my friends and, being a cool guy. And then how that kind of took like a shift and I kind of went back again. I still do have like a lot of leisure activities, but I think I just kind of realized like I miss playing. I am like a pretty goofy gal and I missed doing that. I was just like taking myself way too seriously in adolescence, and then as I've like grown up and matured and now I'm, almost in a week going to be 26 years old, I realized I want to play again, man. I want to play again. I want to be a kid again. So, yeah, so how I've kind of like shifted back a little bit into silly, goofy, just for fun play. So we're going to talk about that real quick. I'm going to kind of wrap up with the recommendation that you gave about, it's not easy to discover one's choices of leisure behavior, and stuff like that. And I think, again, because of my privilege and because of the opportunities that I had, I did get to discover those young, but coming into my adult life, I've really like refined them and figured out who I am and what I enjoy doing and going back to my roots of being a silly, goofy kid and playing and not caring about what people think about you and yeah, like loving independence, but also realizing that, play is super important and having a playful disposition is something that I like strive to have every day in my adult life. So I am going to like close, yeah, kind of with that question or that statement that you had about, discovering what you like to do as a adult and all the behaviors that I enjoy now. Alright, so here's my adulthood art piece. Here's me with my little, blonde and brown hair and my Doc Martens that are falling apart because I wear them so friggin' much. We got some skis and tickets to a punk show and my favorite movie of all time, Evil Dead, and playing some pool and my rugby ball. So we are going to talk about that real quick. As an adult, I've kind of really discovered what what I like to do in my leisure time, and some of it's the same, some of it's changed, some of it's grown. And I will kind of go through those real quick. My favorite thing to do of all times, I am a huge movie nerd. That is my number one leisure activity. That is number one. Anytime I have downtime and I'm not out with my friends from school or whatever, I am watching a movie. It's my happy place. It is my quiet place. It is my place to kind of escape for a little bit and be not in my own mind and really just get to focus on this like piece of art that I'm viewing, and it is my number one thing. Pretty much like all my tattoos on my body are like my movies. I am a movie nerd, so that is my number one leisure activity as an adult. If I want to go out and be social, like I'm not a big partier. I don't like going like downtown to the Dome or anything like that. I go to my crusty little dive bar in Bears Lake to play some pool when there's literally nobody there. So that's really nice. I still ski, even though my broken leg of grade primary was quite traumatizing. I kept up skiing. Um, Still love my music. It's my little punk show tickets. I try to go to as much like live music as I can downtown at my good old Gus's pub. And then here's my little Chevy Aveo, which is falling apart, but it is cool. I have a racing stripe, and that's something that has stayed like the same from when I was a teenager. That's my other leisure activity that I do still enjoy, is just having my little car and driving, listen to music, driving to the beach, driving to anywhere I can drive to. And then here is my rugby ball. I did play rugby in high school, even though soccer was kind of my main thing. But now in my adult life, this is my main play. These are kind of my leisure activities, but rugby is my main play. And I know in the readings we talked about play blowing off steam. Well, I'm going to tell you what. Nothing quite blows off steam like demolishing someone on a rugby field. So and it's just that is play to me as an adult. Like that is just fun, and going out on that field and just like giving it your all and exhausting yourself like that. It reminds me of when I was a kid. I was just running around in the woods and just, you know, blowing off all this steam and just having physical, good old-fashioned, rough and tumble, risky play. And that's definitely one of the reasons I enjoy it so much. So that is like my big play as an adult. And then my last little guy, I'll touch on this little part's gonna a little long. One sec. This little guy right here, he's a little representation of me discovering how to play again, and like how to be a kid again, and just kind of like my playful, happy disposition that I strive for like every day, in like everything that I do, with the kids at work, but also just like with my friends. I like I said, I missed just like the pure joy of not taking yourself too seriously and just playing to play. I have lots of leisure activities and stuff like that, but you know, my leisure activities were not always like playing. They were forms of play, but not just like good old-fashioned play. So I like just try to have my happy little playful feeling where there's no rules, and there's you don't have to think about what people are thinking about you, and feeling stupid, and just laughing with my friends and making up stupid stories, and running around like, or we rolling down Citadel Hill, you know, just like just playing to play, and just experiencing that freedom that you had when you were a kid, or at least again because of my privilege that I had when I was a kid, and that freedom of just being able to be yourself and make up things and have these little imaginary scenarios, and yeah, now I really try to do that in my adult life, and just be goofy and not care who people think about you, and you know, roll down that hill and run down that street and make up silly scenarios with your friends, and have little bits and funny things that you talk about. So yeah, that I really tried to go back to that feeling I got when I was a kid, uh, and I was playing just to play, just to play, and just to um, yeah, enjoy myself and have that surprise and that anticipation and just yeah, the pleasure that comes from being like free um, to kind of make a fool of yourself. So I going back to the prompt you had for closing, I definitely had the opportunity to discover my interests and my leisure activities and the play that I enjoyed when I was a kid. Um, and it expanded and it grew and it declined and it kind of took this like up and down where I was just playing when I was a kid and then I was too cool for school and only really doing leisure activities, not really playing as much. And now I've come to this like really special um, middle ground where I um, have these awesome things that I enjoy doing in my spare time and leisure, but then I also really, really, really try to um, connect that playful um, piece to everything I do and every interaction that I have. Even this right now, this is fun. I'm playing right now. I'm not just writing a paper. I'm having a great time. So yeah, that is that. It was really long, and I don't know how I'm gonna get this to you. Last time something was this long, I had to like airdrop it. So we will figure it out. Yeah. So there we go. Thank you for listening. I am so sorry how long this is. Okay, bye.